With no further delay, I will introduce Howard Qiao, who's Vice President at JMS, who's going to start the presentation. And Judy Bean is up on the podium here as well, and she has a part of it as well. So please welcome them both. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mark, for that introduction. And welcome to you all to this session, Global Sourcing and Healthcare Payers Market. And when Bob and I talk about this presentation, he had asked me to achieve 3 goals. One is to be informative, 2, objective, and 3, intelligent. And I said I can do the first 2, but I'm not sure about intelligent. I'm not a very smart guy. You know, some of the questions that we're going to be talking about today are questions that I think are very interesting issues, not just from an organizational perspective, but from a personal perspective. And these are some of the questions that I myself are very passionate about. So hopefully I can create that space, give you that historical context to allow you to think and decide for your organization as well as for yourself. This is the overview of what we're going to be talking about. And I want to add to what Mark just said regarding global sourcing. Outsourcing as a concept has little to do with onshore or offshore operations from the very beginning as a management concept. But outsourcing has become a term that's being interchangeably used with offshore, especially during the recent presidential campaign that you've seen between the candidates. When they talk about outsourcing, most of the time they're talking about shipping jobs offshore. But we're going to look at these 2 concepts in a context where you can give you a little background information about these different issues. And also we're going to be looking at the state of industry, not just healthcare, but also the broader industry where outsourcing has taken place on a large scales. And also at the end of the presentation, we're going to be focusing on some of the issues that you will be more concerned about as you decide for your organization whether or not to outsource and what are the issues that you need to think about or deal with during that process. And Judy Bean, who works for JMS and who handle that process on a daily basis, can speak in that area with a lot of good experience, I think. This is an overview of what's been happening over the last 20 years when outsourcing as a concept started to getting the publicity, you know, from various levels. Early 90s started with IT outsourcing when a lot of software companies moving development work to India and Southeast Asia, like the Philippines. The second wave, which I think has more relevance to what we're talking about today, this is what's been called the business process outsourcing era. Starting in the late 90s, these are transactional business processes, on the most part, that require technical judgment. The new trend of outsourcing that has been documented by several industry surveys over the last couple of years, and one of the sources that I used for my research was the Booz Allen Hamilton 2007 survey conducted in association with the Duke University. This survey identified a new trend in outsourcing that more of the knowledge-intensive functions and business processes are being offshored. Okay? These business processes, these knowledge process outsourcing services are different from business process outsourcing because these are more knowledge-intensive. These are more innovation-driven. These processes add value to organization, whereas a business process, a transactional business process, doesn't really add value to a company. For example, a credit card company process credit card applications or to audit an invoice. These are transactional. These are repetitive. These are codified. These are follow-the-book business processes. So, but we're going to look at the difference of these two in the next few slides, that's the key differences one adds value to a company whereas the other doesn't. The next couple of slides, we're going to look at some of the factors that play a role in this process that made outsourcing possible. And it made some business process easier to be outsourced than the other. And this next couple of slides are my favorite because it not only is relevant to our organization, but also, if you think about it as an individual, it's very interesting as well. And one of the process that made outsourcing very popular is the commoditization process. Let's think about something that's very commoditized in our daily lives. There's a lot of them. On the commodity market, you have agriculture products. But I want to use something that adds a human value to it or adds human process to it. Let's take an example of a pair of socks. Okay, this product is highly commoditized. Why? Because it has the following features. Socks has very low differentiation. It doesn't matter that much when you buy a pair of socks from Walmart or Costco. There's some differentiation, but on the most part is very comparable. So you pay for what you got. And it's very standardized. Okay? There's not much of a secret in making a pair of socks. And it's very easily quantified. Okay? You can bear one pair of socks, you can bear a six-pack or whatever, but it's priced in a certain way. And it's not very personalized. Okay? It's not they make a pair of socks just for you. Well, sometimes they do, but I'm talking about more of the general market. And it's easily available. You can get it from anywhere. There's many vendors out there that sells socks. And because of all of the above, it has relatively low profit margin because there's less intellectual capital associated with it. It's not like you have a patent to make a pair of socks. So all the above features make a pair of socks easy to be manufactured by a vendor. And the same is true with a lot of the function that's being outsourced. And if you think about some of the things that's being outsourced today, the functions that go out first are always those that can be easily commoditized and therefore transactional business processes, because it's easy to commoditize these business processes and pay you, and the client can, and you can pay the client, pay your the vendor on a per transaction basis. Okay, the vendor processes 100 invoices, you pay them 100 invoices. They process 1,000, you pay them 1,000. So it's easy to control. And it's easy to compare between different vendors because, take the healthcare industry, for example. Everybody else is dealing with the 837 format. It's a very standardized format. So you can easily compare the difference, the quality between one company to the other and decide who's good, who's not so good. The quality is under your control.